Hello and welcome back to the PompeyCast. This week it's episode 10. Our thoughts go out to anyone, obviously, because we're still in lockdown. Our thoughts go out to anyone that's been affected by coronavirus once again. I'm back again here with my dad. How are you this week?
Not too bad, my friend.
Good. Obviously, the podcast has been doing well. The Bundesliga predictions have been doing even better.
Yeah.
Hit 250, trying to get 300 by the end of the month subscribers. 282 at the minute, but we're doing fairly well.
Yeah.
But this week, there's many things to talk about. In Pompey, we've got the Burgess contract situation. We've got Steve Sidon, what's happened with him. We've got something to do with the Scottish FA, something to do with the Premier League, something that Neil Harris came out and said, something to do with Wigan, something to do with the EFL testing, something again, for the third week in a row, to do with Troy Deeney, another thing to do with the Scottish PFA, Wycombe, and what they've said this week, and another thing about Pompey. So there's quite a fair bit going on this week. But we'll start off with, obviously, the big news is Kristian Burgess' contract. What do you think of the situation going on surrounding him at the minute?
Well, I don't know if he's actually been offered a new contract or not. And I mean, I know Pompey saying in the press and stuff they want to keep him, which is great, but I don't actually know if they've actually offered him a new contract. So he's obviously, me as a fan, Blake, you'll be the same, would want to keep him as a player.
Definitely.
At the club, definitely. Class act on and off the pitch. But I'm not. The club saying they want to keep him. There has been discussions, etc., etc. But I don't know if a definitive contract offer has even been made. I don't think it has. So those discussions may be ongoing, but it's certainly not a player I'd want to lose. I think he's, especially since what he's done in the community since the this coronavirus started, is just outstanding, and can't praise him highly enough. And on the pitch as well.
Great player. Well, he came into the season just like Raggett did. A bit poor, but he's now shown himself as a League One player, minimum.
Especially the turn of the year, since the turn of the year has been class.
Especially with Watmore out injured, he's definitely taken that taken the opportunity.
Right,
But you were talking about him in the community with lockdown. Did you see that he went up to a 90th birthday party for someone with a tank? He turned up in a tank for them. Did you see that?
Nice.
It's quite funny. He turned up in a tank, which is great of him. Anyway, we'll move on. Steve Sidon, contract extension. Well, his loan deal's been extended to the end of whenever the season will end.
Yeah, well,
so it's not just till June, it's to whenever the season ends.
Yeah, so
obviously we will now have a left back because we have got a bit of a situation going on.
Yeah, I mean, even if we played, obviously this League One situation is dragging on and on and on. Let's be brutally honest. They're not going to play the season out. Can't afford it. Too long. Can't afford it. Playoffs maybe. So if we can get him for a playoff match, semi-final and a final, if we get there, that'd be great. But I think he's someone we should try and sign permanently. I've said that before in previous podcasts.
Yeah.
If that's possible, obviously the financial implications of all this COVID-19 is debatable whether we could or we couldn't. But certainly he's a player I would like to keep.
Yeah,
so, agreed?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it'd definitely be helpful if we do get to the playoffs, or if the season
in
the unlikely event it does resume.
Yeah,
it'd be helpful to have him.
Yes,
especially with I think Lee Brown and I definitely know Brandon Haunstrup's out of contract, but I'm not sure about Lee Brown. But with all the focus on Burgess, I think they've forgotten about about Brandon Haunstrup signing his new contract.
Yeah, he's a good player as well. To be fair.
Good young player. Anyway, the Premier League came out this week saying they're going to allow 5 subs. We're not really going to talk in detail. It's just to let you know. Premier League 5 subs, same as the Bundesliga. I think it's going to be common protocol at the minute.
Yeah.
Still 3 slots allowed, which is fair enough to avoid time wasting. But 5 subs, fair.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. Anyway, Scottish FA, they've confirmed that they're resuming training on the 11th of June. What do you think of them coming back at that date?
Scottish FA.
Scottish FA. So the SPFL.
What, for the next season?
For next season, yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose it's just following course with. Obviously, they're easing their lockdowns at a different pace. Obviously, it's got no ramifications on this season because they've already decided this season. So in terms of next season, I think the Scottish season starts the first week of August, if I'm right. It might be the last week of July. I'm not sure.
There's another thing we need to talk about that as well.
Yeah.
That's Sky Sports have done something with Scotland where they're planning to show a certain amount of games on TV as like a virtual season ticket. So I think the beginning of the season starts a bit differently, but they're starting in August.
Yeah.
And they're just going, whether it's behind closed doors or not. Sky Sports are showing the games, and they're going from August. which is, I think that's fair enough. I mean, if
be behind closed doors, though.
Yeah, I've written it down here. Yeah, the Sky Sports have given it like a. I put it in abbreviated because it's not a season ticket, but it's a virtual season ticket, so you can watch all your team's games.
Yeah, okay, alright.
And Neil Harris, who may have been a questionable figure when he was managing Millwall, he's now managing Cardiff, and he has said that he's predicted that there will be salary caps introduced across the EFL. What do you think of that?
Well, I think something's got to be done. I mean, especially in the Championship. I mean, clubs lose more than they make. Well, they just lose more than they make. So that's going to be something that probably will have to come in further down the leagues. In Portsmouth League, I think there's not going to be the expenditure on players, especially next season. I think you're going to have to start bringing youth through, especially, and hold on to the key assets that you already have. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's certainly that I can't see there being. Maybe in the Premier League there might still be, because it's the TV money, and the bigger clubs still will have cash to spend on marquee signings, etc. But not lower down the leagues. And I think, especially in the Championship, a salary cap is financially prudent and sensible. Otherwise, clubs will go bust. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and obviously this is probably something that should be in place anyway, even without the coronavirus. I reckon wage cap should come into play anyway, because players do get paid a lot of money.
Yeah, they do. They do.
But in all fairness to them, they earn their fair share of what is created from merchandise, things like that.
Well,
but China had already done this. 20k a week was that they put a limit on it, or 20 or 40k a week.
That's not so much in the lower level Premier League.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, of course.
But we'll move on to Wigan. We'll just talk about them very quickly. Not a lot to talk about. They've just been taken over, which is obviously good news for their fans. Obviously, they're not a big club, but they've got big ground. Got a
fairly big ground.
Fairly 20k for a club that doesn't really fill it.
I think it's about 25 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, but still. But yeah, they've been taken over by Next Leader Fund LP. I don't know who they are, what they are, but I know that they've taken over Wigan, which will obviously mean they've got a bit more money now to splash on people like Paul Cook. Give him a bit more of a lucrative deal, or sack him, one of the two. I'd take him back. Would you not take Paul Cook back?
I would, yeah.
I think any Pompey fan, after the memories he gave us, I think they would take him back, wouldn't they?
Just for the style of football he played.
On the ground, boom, 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 boom,
on the ground, much. I mean, let's not say Jackett's a bad manager, but that's another story. But
game against Bournemouth, Gary Roberts' goal.
Yeah,
How many passes was it? 54.
Yeah, I certainly think Paul Cook played a nice style of football.
Yeah. And with some more news, EFL. Out of 1,220 tests done for coronavirus in the Championship and League 2, I think over 1,000 were Championship, 200 roughly were.
Why League 2 getting tested?
Because I don't know, but they're testing everyone, but they got tested.
Right.
9 out of those 1,220 came back positive. They were from the Fulham and who was it we talked about? Fulham and Blackburn, who already had the cases. Yeah. And then Preston, Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday have confirmed they've got one case each team. But 9 out of 1,220, is definitely positive for the future.
Yeah, obviously the cases are coming down by the look of it, across the board. But obviously, in terms of letting fans into stadiums, opening up society still properly, I think we're a bit away off that. I wish I didn't have to say that, but I think we're still some way off, especially letting fans into stadiums. And I hope we're allowed to watch our teams sooner rather than later, because
or at least teams that maybe not Portsmouth obviously, but some teams do survive.
Yeah, just to help. Yeah, because it's detrimental to all these football clubs, especially at the lower levels. It's gonna be a bloodbath unless fans are allowed in.
Yeah. Now we'll move on to what I said earlier. Troy Deeney been in every single one of the podcasts for the last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
Obviously saying things that he's not coming back, and then obviously getting trolls that are saying, "Oh, I hope this, I hope this." He has gone back to training this week. I think it was today he went back.
Yeah.
What do you think of him going back on what he said and coming to training?
I wouldn't say he's necessarily gone back.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, he said he's not, but now he is.
But obviously he's maybe it's a week, 2 weeks further along.
Possibly.
And he's decided it's safer environment to go back. So fair play, I respect his decision.
Yeah, I think it is his job. I think he wanted to go back, but he didn't want to risk the safety.
Yeah, which is completely right.
And I think he's gone the right way about it, and now he is coming back. So fair play to him.
Yeah.
And obviously I talking earlier because I do it in a list. Scottish August restart, New Deal. We've already talked about that.
Yeah.
And now the Wycombe news, which is kind of not shocking, but it's not good, where they've told all of their furloughed staff, so not playing staff but staff, to leave to look for new jobs
Because they're not going to be able to employ them after the furlough scheme ends.
because they don't have enough.
Sorry, not even necessarily when it ends. When
in the future.
In the future, so from after in August, employers are going to have to start paying national insurance contributions, pension contributions, etc. And obviously, if they've had no income for I don't know, which will be at the time for over 4 months, that's going to be a struggle for any employer. So they're obviously, and this will be more prevalent across the board when companies have then got to start paying, football clubs have got to start paying even a small amount to start off with, but if they haven't taken any money, where's the money going to come from?
Yeah.
So
it's not good for the people that work there.
And he said they're losing about £350,000 a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a week, a month.
Either way.
And he estimates losses from COVID-19 for that particular club of £2.5 million. That would be a club, in my opinion, that would rely heavily on gate receipts,
Away fans.
match day revenue, away
fans coming in. Even the park outside, they've got the ground with the burger van and stuff
yeah,
outside.
So
parking, things like that.
Commercial activity, like match day revenue would be
Sponsors
massive for
and things like that.
Massive for a team like that.
For most teams in our
it's
league.
not nice to be saying to your staff,
just we're sorry.
We're sorry, but we furloughed you for a bit, but now we're not going to survive. These companies must know this anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I don't think it's a great way to treat people, but
they can't really do much else. I feel bad for the staff. I feel bad for the players.
Yeah.
You feel bad for anyone involved, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
Now, the last thing we'll talk about this week. Obviously, there's not much anymore to talk about. There was a few weeks ago in transfer talk, but this is Pompey, and they're looking to arrange a pre-season friendly with someone before if the season comes back or before the next season starts. They want to organise a friendly.
Yeah.
And the front runners in this have become Brighton.
Yeah,
I think we'll be able to play. What do you think of us trying to get a friendly?
Well, that's a good idea. Match fit. I mean, as far as I know, our players aren't even back in training yet, are they?
Well, they're kind of.
But yeah, I mean, the only problem I think with that is if the Premier League's due to start on June the 17th, we're on June the 4th now, so it's less than 2 weeks before the Premier League's going to start again. So
yeah,
maybe that's a bit. I can't see that happening actually, to be honest, because the Premier League's going to start again in under 2 weeks.
If we're playing Brighton, they'll be playing.
Yeah, so Brighton will be. Maybe
have they released the full fixtures yet for the Premier League? Have they just released
I think
those two?
It's the first 2 rounds.
Villa v Sheffield United.
No, the first lot.
Oh, they've released the weekend ones as well.
Yeah,
then.
So
I didn't know. I haven't read on that.
Yeah, so I think.
So we'll predict all them next week then, yeah.
Yeah. So
new video out next week on that.
I can't see us being able to play a friendly with a Premier League team when they're going to start the league again in 13 days' time.
Yeah. I can't see it, but I could see friendlies in general against maybe
against Brighton. I don't know, maybe against Brighton Academy or second team,
or even against a team like Wycombe.
Yeah, but
I can see that happening.
But in terms
and it'd be a good idea for fitness and things like that. But
in terms of yeah, I can't see us playing the Premier League. Not when the season's got to start in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where the video ends. There's not, as I've already said, not a lot to talk about this week. Weather's gone back to being not brilliant. We're in the garden still.
We're in the garden still. It's not raining. It's a bit grey.
Yeah, a bit like your hair.
A bit like my hair.
But how many likes can we get on this video?
I think we go for 20 likes.
Really? Right. Okay, that's a push on this.
See, we're getting a lot more views on the Bundesliga.
So anyone that watches these videos, thank you.
Yeah.
Be sure to share the channel to your mates or to your family.
But obviously
we want to hit 300 by the end of the month.
We're getting a lot more Bundesliga views because prediction and stuff, because it's more relevant to the time. Obviously, we get a lot of views. Well, Blake does when we go to away games.
We can't do that at the moment.
We can't do that at the moment. So a lot of what we're talking about is just a lot of it's hypothetical and what we think is going to happen. What we do. But
obviously, the Bundesliga is. We can talk about fact.
We talk about fact. So this is all a bit more to our.
I think
club.
it'll be a lot better this podcast when the Premier League returns.
Yeah,
because we know a lot more about Liverpool, West Ham, teams like that in the Prem.
We'd like to talk about. I mean, obviously, we want the season to start. We want the country to get back open again. People to start, working again. People are going to be football again. Things like that. So we just have to, and people to be a lot more positive, because obviously, I think there might be hard times to come.
Just think positive. Everything you can possibly do, try and make it positive.
Got to think positive no matter what happens.
We'll let you know of a few videos we're going to do. We're going to predict how the Premier League's going to end.
Yeah.
We're going to predict that one. We're going to predict the fixtures in the Premier League every week.
Yeah.
We're going to do the same for Spain, predicting the table and the fixtures, and predicting Bundesliga. And the Championship as well, table and fixtures.
So we carry on with our, obviously.
So a lot of videos will be coming out.
Yeah, so our
soon.
Bundesliga.
Even if it is on the phone, we can still do it.
Yeah, even if it is obviously we do another Bundesliga one come out tomorrow. But so hopefully the next time we talk to you in a week's time, we'll have some
better to talk about.
Proper news on the EFL, League One especially.
Some definitive answers.
What's going to go on, if it's going to be weighted points per game?
Yeah, no, it'd be unweighted.
Points.
It's either unweighted points per game or we're playing.
Yeah, so if it's going to be unweighted or we're playing, then we can go from there. If there is going to be playoff finals, etc., and then hopefully we can all start to plan for the future in terms of football and where we go from here.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, we'll leave you there and stay safe. And most importantly, up the Blues.
Up the Blues.